Welcome to Cuisine with Jean. We have a real treat for you today. We have got a professional chef, Michael Williams from Lily Ann's, and a sous chef. He brought his own sous chef, Connor. Just happens to have the last name Williams. Is that because he's your dad?
Yes.
And how old are you, Connor?
10.
10. Great. I'm so glad you brought her.
I'm excited to have her.
Well, and instead of my talking you through it, you're going to do something really special. You're going to kind of instruct Connor in cooking technique. And so I'm going to just stand over here and jump in occasionally.
Perfect.
But let's let you take it away.
Yeah, a lot of what we do, especially at Lily Ann's Steakhouse where I work, is we try to train technique. I mean, you can throw a steak on the grill and take it off and it'd be the right temperature, but if you apply the technique, it just elevates the flavor, elevates the presentation, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do some classic restaurant cookery, but for the at-home cook. So we're going to just focus on technique and making sure we're doing stuff right to get optimum flavor. So.
Well, I have to say, I have been to Lily Ann's, and it is fantastic. I had scallops one night. I think they were on special, and they were the best scallops I've ever had in my whole life. And I'm not young, so that says a lot. But my husband was there recently with a group of guys, and it's the restaurant we have needed in this area for a long time of consistently excellent food.
That's what that's our big focus is quality of food to where you would have to drive to a bigger market to get. And the same thing with the service. We felt that that's something that was lacking, was just having a really restaurant where you feel taken care of. And even maybe part of a family. So that's what we strive for, is just exceptional service and good quality food.
Well, you have accomplished that. You have done a really good job, and it's near the Gateway, the former Gateway Convention
So
Center.
139 Gateway Boulevard, which is the Gateway Event Center strip. We're down on the end near Barley and Burger, some great friends of ours. If you're not in the mood for a steak, burger's always good too. I eat there a little bit. And we're conveniently located right around all the hotels and across the street from the hospital. So.
And you're open every night except Sunday?
Yes, ma'am. We're open Monday through Thursday, 4 to 10, and Fridays and Saturdays, 4 to 11.
And if you haven't tried it, boy, you are missing something special. We need to be sure that you're properly patronized, because we want you here permanently. So support you. Okay,
Awesome.
What are you going to be making?
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a filet mignon with some asparagus, and then we're also going to make a sauce béarnaise. We'll link the recipe to the sauce, which is what we're going to do here. It's pretty similar to the recipe we use at the restaurant, and I'm just going to work the technique with Connor. She hasn't made béarnaise before. So we're going to blanch the asparagus. We're going to make the béarnaise. Off screen, I've got one of our certified Angus beef filet mignons, sous vide, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But we partnered with certified Angus beef because I just haven't found a better product out there. So filet, asparagus béarnaise, and then at the end of the show we brought you a special treat. We're going to show you plating technique for our new chocolate Oblivion cake. So.
Oh, wow. I saw it, and I can't wait. And it's a new dessert there. Well, you have excellent desserts there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we make everything in-house from scratch.
Oh, good.
Right.
Okay, you ready?
You ready to get started?
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, if you're not familiar with sous vide, so it's cooking in a vacuum bag at low temperature. So think of your crock pot. And then turn it down to low, and then extra low, and then extra low. So we are going to sous vide our filet mignon. We'll take it out of the wrapper. We won't even season it. We have some fresh thyme, crushed cloves of garlic, and a little bit of butter. We'll vacuum seal this, and then we'll put it in our water bath with an immersion circulator, which keeps the water at a certain temperature and keeps the water moving. And we'll sous vide that at 130 degrees for 2 hours. And then after that 2 hours, and we'll do that after we make the sauce and the asparagus, we'll come back and we'll sear it to get some nice color and create what we call the Maillard reaction, science class, which is the browning of the steak. And then we'll let that rest, and then we'll plate it all up. Sound good, Connor? All right.
So people ask for like rare, medium rare, whatnot. Does it stay pink inside the whole time it's in that being cooked that way?
So it'll stay, and the great thing about sous vide, we don't do this at a restaurant because it's a little bit harder for service aspect, but at home you can do this all the time. I've got a good friend, he's the pro at Bimini Country Club, Ryan Keeter. He does a lot of sous vide at home, and the great thing about sous vide is you get a consistent temperature from the edge all the way through. So like if you like your steak medium or medium well, usually it's brown on the outside, gray, and then it gets the red center. This will actually cook it completely uniform all the way through until you add that final sear, which will maybe we get an eighth of an inch of color around the outside to add that flavor, but then you get that perfect cook. So that's the great thing about sous vide. Sous vide started in France in the 70s, was brought over to the U.S. in the 90s. Thomas Keller at the French Laundry out in California, Michelin star chef. He was kind of the godfather of that for the U.S. So we'll go ahead and move this out of the way. So again,
we need you up here.
this will be in the vacuum seal bag.
Okay.
We'll pop it in our water, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. All right, so next, let me get this out of the way too. We are gonna trim our asparagus. So Connor, how we trim our asparagus, right? We're gonna pick up the piece of asparagus, right? And pick up the piece of asparagus. And then how do we check it? We bend it, right? And then where it breaks, oh, mine broke a little bit longer. Let's try that again. Yours did it good. Where it breaks is where we cut the rest of it. So if you wanna cut that for us.
To make them consistently long.
Perfect.
And by virtue of breaking it like that, you're getting off the less tender part, right?
So we're getting off the stringy and the more firm fibrous part, which isn't really that palatable, and it'll just leave the delicate tender ends that we like. And then what we'll do is we'll bring our water over here.
And the cutting them all the same length is for
just consistency and for looks, and again also for cooking. At the restaurant we'll use much larger ones because again it's harder to overcook them. I like nice and tender but still a little al dente, which is to the tooth, still has a little bit of chew, and that's how I enjoy mine. And to blanch, we're going to do what's called big pot blanching. So we want a large pot with a large amount of water. Because that's going to help us get the chlorophyll out of the vegetable to keep it green. We're going to add a little salt. Connor, if you'll add some salt for us.
And what kind of salt are you using?
So we're using Maldon sea salt, which is a large flake salt. Big pinch. So we want it kind of salty like the ocean. Right?
But you were right. It's better to be able to add more than to add too much.
Yep. So once that comes to a boil, we'll blanch our asparagus, and then we'll shock it and a little bit of ice water, and that's going to stop the cooking process, and that'll keep it nice and bright green and still firm, so that when we go to cook it, when our steak's ready, all we have to do is do a quick saute, okay? And then we'll talk about saute too. So this is called what? Blanching.
Blanching.
Right? Blanching. Okay. So we got sous vide is one technique, blanching is another technique, and this is what we train the cooks at Lily Ann's to do. Okay. So while that's going, we got our asparagus trimmed. We're going to talk about our sauce béarnaise. So what we have here is our tarragon reduction. So a little bit of tarragon vinegar. If you can't find tarragon vinegar, a good red wine vinegar is a good substitute. To that, we added some dried tarragon, shallot, garlic, and fresh thyme. And we reduced that by half, and that's going to concentrate all those flavors, right? And then we strained it out, right? Because we want a nice, creamy sauce.
So what basically boils off or cooks off when you reduce it?
So you're reducing some of the acid out, some of the water, you're concentrating the flavors, and then you're infusing the vinegar with all those aromatics, the shallot, the garlic, the tarragon. Again, if you use tarragon vinegar, it's already infused. We have quite a few vinegars at Lily Ann's, but tarragon is one we don't keep because red wine we use for a lot of different recipes. So.
Okay.
All right. So our water is almost to a boil, and then back to our béarnaise. So we've got a pot of water that we're going to use to make a double boiler, right? And that's going to help us heat our eggs up to the perfect consistency. And here in this pan, we have about 6 egg yolks we've separated, and we're going to whisk that.
Can you see it?
Right there, can you see? You see it there.
And you, if it were not in a double boiler, they might curdle because they get too hot.
It would curdle. So if you bring the, if you don't temper the eggs, which means bring it up to temperature slowly, it'll scramble. And we like scrambled eggs at home, but we don't want scrambled béarnaise sauce. So this is almost boiling.
You want to take a break and come back when it's okay? Okay, we'll be right back. Perfect. Stay with us.
When you buy a new or used vehicle from Davenport Auto Park, you drive change because a portion of every sale goes to support a local nonprofit that you choose. So whether you buy a new Honda or GMC or a certified pre-owned vehicle, you're not just getting a great vehicle, you're giving back to your community. Ready to make a difference? Visit Davenport Auto Park online or stop by today at 600 English Road, Rocky Mount. Your next car can change lives. Davenport Auto Park, your dealership for life.
And we've been watching the pot, which means it's not going to boil, right?
So
Michael Williams and Connor Williams, Lily Ann's Steakhouse.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Great food. We finally have a really wonderful fine dining place in town, open Monday through Saturday. And you said Monday is a big day because no other restaurants are really open on Mondays, right?
Yeah, a lot of the independent restaurants choose one of those.
You're cute.
Choose one of those days, either for their staff or just because of whatever they have going on. But we know that it's a good travel day, and being situated around all the hotels, and again wanting to be able to offer another dining option for our locals, we decided to open on Mondays, and I was against it because I'm a chef and Mondays are always a good day to take off. But James Michael Oliveri, the managing partner, he thought it was something the community really was asking for, and he was right.
Good. Okay, so
next we're going to go ahead and blanch our asparagus. So we're you want to drop them in? Perfect. We're just going to sprinkle them around.
and the only
Be
thing
careful,
in
that
there
water's hot.
is
We've
the
got
salt.
water and salt. So
Okay.
we've got well salted water. There we go. And just dump the rest of it in. Perfect. All right. And we're going to let those just lightly blanch. You want them nice and bright green, and then we're going to shock them.
How will you know when they're ready?
You can check one, especially with the larger asparagus. But usually once they go bright green and the water returns back to a boil, that's why we want to have a large quantity of water. As the chlorophyll cooks out, if you put in too much asparagus into too little water, the water will turn green immediately, and you're actually cooking that chlorophyll back in, and that's what's going to make it turn brown or gray after it cools. We want it to stay nice and bright green.
You know, I've done that, and I didn't know that was why it did it.
And again, if I was blanching large quantities, once that water starts to get green with the chlorophyll, I'm going to want to change that water.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because my water always turns a little bit brown. So now I know. Now you know.
All right.
And you're going to shock it.
Yeah, so we've just got some ice water, about 50-50.
And that's so it doesn't overcook.
And this is so it's going to stop the cooking process. It's going to keep that asparagus nice and bright green.
Oh, it's much prettier on the plate if it's bright green.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's going to keep the texture that we're looking for. So we're going to set this, excuse me, set this back.
Good job, Connor.
And then we are going to switcheroo. Can you pick that up for me, Connor?
And you put during the break, you had this over the hot water. So
Hot
it
water,
cooked
yes
it.
ma'am. So we started to cook it just a little bit. Watch out, Connor. I'm going to set this down over here. Slide some of that away. That'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, so now
And you're
turn the
gonna
temp
want this.
way down. And we are going to whisk, and I'm going to do this, Connor, because it's a little tall. We're going to whisk our eggs until they're creamy and pale. And the trick for me is and I'll turn it so you can see it too, Connor, is when I hold the eggs up and I can go around in the figure eight. See how the figure eight disappears?
It shows the people at home
So
too.
I'll do that. So when I go to make a figure eight, the figure eight disappears. So that means that the eggs aren't whisked enough. So I want them to have a fuller body, so that way when we add our hot butter, it's going to make an emulsification. You know what that means? Emulsification is when we're making two things stick together. All right? So we want the egg yolk and the clarified butter to stick together.
And so those are just the yolks.
These are just yolks. We've reserved the whites. At the restaurant, we make a baked Carolina, which is a version of a baked Alaska, and we use a lot of egg whites for those, so we reserve the whites for that. And we make a meringue out of the whites.
Okay.
So now you can see the egg yolks are getting nice and pale, and we can see that figure eight now.
And we're
And it
going to have.
dissipates.
You brought all of your recipes,
Yes, ma'am.
so
They'll
we're
be
going to put them online.
absolutely.
Okay. Good.
All right. So I
What would
think we'll
happen
be there.
if you overcooked it in a curdle? Can you
You could
undo it?
at this point you could strain it back out.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can show it here a little bit too, is if it does curdle, there's You can, if it starts to get curdling, you can throw an ice cube in there to lower the temperature. And the same thing too is if you're whisking too fast and not adding the butter fast enough, you can actually make mayonnaise because that's an emulsification of eggs and oil. So if that happens, you can add a little warm water and that'll thin it back out, or a little white wine. So to this, we're going to add a little bit of our reduction. Connor, can you grab that salt and pepper over there? No, the grinders.
Oh, the grinders.
The grinders. So we're going to add a little bit of our reduction. And again, this is our red wine vinegar and our Bernaise. Can you put me a couple of turns of pepper and salt in there? And we're going to season it with a little salt and pepper. That's good. Okay. We can always add more, right? A little bit of pepper. Okay. And then now here's the fun part. We're going to, can you turn that off for me so it won't beep? And here, can you actually pour that? We're going to go pour it in a steady stream, so just a little bit at a time.
And you know why you're pouring it slowly?
Slower. So if
Faster.
so if you're going, so if it goes too fast, just stop and just make sure you incorporate all that butter in. So if you can see a little bit of butter around the edges, just stop pouring. Go ahead. See how quick it's getting thick.
And you would cook it, or you would curdle it if you did it too quickly.
You could if you added too much of a hot liquid. Again, if your butter wasn't hot enough to, it might not have emulsified. You can keep going. There you go. Nice.
So what temperature is the butter approximately? Just melted?
Oh no, we want the butter good and hot. So the butter's probably at least 180 degrees.
Okay.
But again, we don't want
the bubbly or separated.
No. And again, when I say clarified butter, some chefs will just use melted butter because there's actually all the solids that float to the top have a lot of flavor.
Is this clarified?
This is clarified though.
Okay. And you want to explain how people can clarify butter?
So you're just going to take your cold butter. That's good, Connor. That's good. Perfect. You set that down right there. You cold butter on the stove, medium heat, and you're just going to let it melt. As it comes up to a boil, you can stir that a little bit more for me. As it comes up to a boil, you're going to skim off all the solids that float to the top. Some solids will float to the bottom. And if you get too high of a heat, they'll turn to brown, and that'll make brown butter, which is deliciously flavored, but it'll discolor your sauce. All right, so now what we need to do, Connor, that's good, is we're going to move some of this out of the way. And I'm going to step off real quick.
Okay.
And then we are going to chop up some tarragon to finish our sauce. So we've got some fresh tarragon here.
Y'all don't have an herb garden at the restaurant, do you?
We do not, but I've got a sous chef, Chef James Slode, who went to Johnson & Wales in Charleston and has been executive chef of restaurants before. He worked with me at my last position, and super happy to have him as one of the leaders of my team. And he actually grows a lot of herbs and heirloom tomatoes.
Oh,
and we use some of those. And then we also partner with a local organic farm between Rocky Mount and Tarboro, Lake Valley Farms. Chauncey Leggett is the owner there, and he sends us out a list every week of all the, can you stir that up for me? Local and organic stuff. Like right now, we've got a watermelon salad, and we're rotating through yellow watermelons, orange watermelons, and then red watermelons. So that's pretty neat that we get to offer some of those, because a lot of people in our area might not have seen those before, especially a lot of people traveling. So, okay. All right, so we finished up our sauce. I'm going to turn this back on. So Connor, if you do me a favor, hand me that pan over there.
That's the perfect thickness,
the black metal pan over there. So we've got a nice consistency there. We're going to check it, make sure our seasoning's good. We'll add a little bit more salt and pepper.
You always use freshly ground.
Absolutely. Okay, so now we're going to, and Connor, if you can grab that filet out of the sous vide. Right there, the little bag. And just be careful because it might be hot.
What would you do without Connor?
I've got employees.
They're not as cute as she is, though, for sure. Got about 1 minute here.
All right, perfect. So here we have taken our filet mignon. We've got a nice cook on that. And we're just going to pat this dry on our towel. Season that with a little bit of our steak seasoning.
Boy, it smells good. You can smell the seasonings on it, can't you, Connor?
And we'll just season that up a little bit.
Are you going to get a hard
We're going to get a nice,
surface
good crust on this.
crust in it?
So
Okay.
the great thing about these induction pans is, other than boiling the water earlier, they get hot really fast.
Do you use induction cooking at the restaurant?
No, we use natural gas at the restaurant. So,
Why is it named Lily Ann's?
so James Michael Oliveri is our managing partner. He's great friends with Greg and Tolston Williams, and Greg's late wife, Tolston's mother. Her middle name was Lily Ann, and Tolston's daughter, which is Greg's granddaughter, is Lily Ann. So it was,
Excuse me.
again, all of us, Tolston, Greg, James Michael, and myself, believe family is the most important thing in life. And they wanted to incorporate that aspect of the family and the business. So
Great. And you've got 3 kids yourself, right?
I do. I've got Connor's my youngest, and then I've got a middle daughter. She is 13. Her name's Sadie. And then I've got an older son, about to be 16. His name is Sawyer. So we're searing this on medium-high heat. We want to get good contact. And that's some nice browning, and then we'll flip that over.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we'll plate, and we'll show you our dessert as well.
Sounds perfect. We'll be right back.
When you buy a new or used vehicle from Davenport Auto Park, you drive change because a portion of every sale goes to support a local nonprofit that you choose. So whether you buy a new Honda or GMC or a certified pre-owned vehicle, you're not just getting a great vehicle, you're giving back to your community. Ready to make a difference? Visit Davenport Auto Park online or stop by today at 600 English Road, Rocky Mount. Your next car can change lives. Davenport Auto Park, your dealership for life.
I so wish you could smell this steak and the asparagus. And oh, Connor, you have outdone yourself. Wow. This cake is just magnificent.
So this is a new item on our menu. James Michael, our operating manager, owner, said he wanted a giant chocolate cake with hot fudge drizzle. So this was my version of that. So we've got 2 ganaches. One is a salted caramel ganache, and that is made with our Belgian dark chocolate. And then we have a milk chocolate ganache, which is made with Peruvian milk chocolate. We've got some beautiful chantilly cream creeping up the side. And Connor, you want to do the espresso pour over? You want to come around?
There you go.
So table side, your server will bring out this delicious warm chocolate and espresso infused syrup. Go ahead, Connor. And they will just pour it right on.
At table side, they'll pour it on.
Tableside, and they'll kind of give the whole show and drizzle it everywhere.
And y'all are all into aesthetics. I mean, it needs to look as good as it's going to taste.
Absolutely. We want everyone to feel like they're the most special person in the room. We want them to really enjoy their time with us. We're not a turn and burn restaurant. We want you to stay and visit and maybe get to know the table next to you or get to know your server or James Michael when he comes by to introduce himself and thank you for your business. So we just really wanted to make it every moment count. So.
Well, and I haven't been there. You do that. You totally nail it on that. In fact, my husband came home. He had a men's birthday party celebration the other night. And he came home with a thank you note from his server.
Yeah, it's the little details we try to focus on to make everything intentional and everything special. So.
Well, you are nailing it. So the béarnaise sauce?
So the béarnaise sauce came out beautifully, beautifully thick. So we are going to add that to our filet mignon and our asparagus. And I like lots of béarnaise. And this is something that we serve at the restaurant as well. We serve it with lump crab for crab Oscar, or you could either add it to a steak, add it to our salmon dish if you choose to, or just enjoy it over a vegetable. So,
do you change the menu very much, or do you have regulars and then you vary some things?
We have our standard menu. We keep most of our cuts of certified Angus, choice, and prime on, but we'll also rotate proteins. Right now we've got a 10-day dry-aged porterhouse pork chop on. We will bring in Wagyu features. We're actually looking to partner with a local North Carolina Wagyu producer. and maybe we'll get into Wagyu on another show.
Sure.
But we're always looking for ways to keep it exciting, and again to keep people in town and not have to go out of Nash County to really enjoy themselves. So.
What about reservations?
Reservations are always recommended. We do open table, or you can always call the restaurant, and we can take care of you. Especially for groups larger than 6, best idea is to call a restaurant.
And you're getting ready to expand, aren't you?
We are. We've already started demolition. We're going to add a wine lounge next door. So we'll have a enigmatic wine system, which will allow us to pour samples in glasses of higher end wine. So that way, if you're not super confident in your wine knowledge and you want to try something different without spending all that money on a whole bottle, you can taste your way through different varietals maybe that you've never heard of. And then we'll also be able to increase our kitchen space so that we can offer more small plates, more cold appetizers, more tapas style stuff. So that way, you don't always have to come out for a giant steak dinner. You can just come out with a glass of wine with friends and a couple of appetizers. So.
Oh, good. Well, the wine setup that you talked about is very similar to what I've read they have in Raleigh. Extremely popular there.
Yep.
So.
And the great thing is we can pour higher end wines at a much lower cost because we don't have the waste. Because of the way the system's set up, it replaces oxygen with argon gas. So that way we can open a bottle using their system, and it's just as fresh on day one as it is 2 weeks later. And sometimes they can keep wines all the way up to 6 months. Not that we would ever want to do that, but again, by removing the oxygen from the bottle, it keeps the quality of the wine. So.
And when do you anticipate getting started on that, or have you already started on it?
We've got plans approved, so hopefully we'll be open by the fall, if not the beginning of winter. So.
Well, I can't thank you enough for bringing this fabulous dining to the Rocky Mount area. And folks, we do need to patronize them for sure, because why would you go to Raleigh when you can eat food better than I've seen in Raleigh right here in Rocky Mount? Connor, do you get to eat there very much?
No.
No.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Special occasions maybe.
But you've had the cake before, right?
Yes.
And was it good?
Yes.
Are you ready for a bite now?
We're going to end the show and we're going to let her dive in. So, Michael, thank you. Lily Ann's again, Monday through Saturday. You
Yes,
open
ma'am.
at 4 o'clock. You're open till 10 on Monday through Thursday, and then till 11 Friday, Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
And people need to go. Call for reservations, and it will exceed expectations, I guarantee it. So thank you, Michael. Thank you, Connor.
Jean.
Sous chef, appreciate it. And thank you. Remember, all of Michael's recipes are going to be online. So have a great day.
When you buy a new or used vehicle from Davenport Auto Park, you drive change, because a portion of every sale goes to support a local nonprofit that you choose. So whether you buy a new Honda or GMC or a certified pre-owned vehicle, you're not just getting a great vehicle, you're giving back to your community. Ready to make a difference? Visit Davenport Auto Park online or stop by today at 600 English Road, Rocky Mount. Your next car can change lives. Davenport Auto Park, your dealership for life.